because now the judge left it up to me to do away with the estate. Well, and I told the judge, I said, I'm going to leave it going. Why?
Okay.
Because I knew fucks like you and other people would try to take my fucking property from me. And I'm not going to let that happen, dumbasses. I'm not going to let that happen. Even if you were allowed to put money down on my property, you couldn't lay one finger on it, because as soon as you did, the district court will be all over your ass like a chicken on a June bug. I'm not only the executor, I'm also the owner and administrator. I'm the chief cook and bottle washer, baby. I decide what happens with this property. Not you, not Stivers, not the Frost, not anybody. I decide what happens to this property. And there's nobody going to lay one fucking finger on it.
Damn right. Amen.
Because if you listen to the lady carefully, she said everything I said was true. I went there in person. I got an extension. That extension gives me a payment plan. Now, granted, I haven't made a payment yet because the money I had on me was to pay my bills. But I can set up a payment at any time. I've got plenty of time. There's no rush. My property is not in default. There is no lien on my property. My property is not in default. Those were all lies. In fact, the ad ended up being an old ad from when my mother was alive 2 years ago, if not more. And so, I mean, everything about the whole damn thing was drummed up to make it look like I'm this loser piece of shit that's going to lose everything. Well, no, it didn't happen. And it's not true. And it never was true to begin with. And so Todd was a liar. All the trolls were liars. Everything about the whole damn thing was a fucking lie. And like I said, you can hear the woman tell Todd, he didn't hear it all, but she told him everything I said was 100% true. When I say I go to the clerk's office, or when I say I go to the courthouse, or when I say I talk to a government official, I'm not hearing myself talk. I'm telling it because it's the truth. Okay. And frankly, I've had enough with this. We're going to call Clay County and try to get Bonner in trouble. Okay. I'm done with that. I am so done with that. Now it's early in the morning. Unfortunately the wheels of justice turn slow down here, but they do turn. And so hopefully the county attorney's office will get up with me and we'll see what we can do about putting Toad in front of a judge. And then maybe he'll get a clue and say, oh, wow, you really can't call another state and try to get somebody's property taken away from them.
Right.
Because you can't. It's illegal, Todd, you fuck. You can't do that shit. And the lady even tried to tell you the only people that can even try to register for that stuff is people that live here locally, that are businesses, and that are pre-registered, and that have been doing the shit for years. That's the only people they trust. They do not trust some random fucking caller calling up saying, yeah, I'm going to take Bond's property away from him. You ain't going to do shit. You're going to be pounding sand. Furthermore, when they find out, hey, the estate is still active, it's not been done away with, because now the judge left it up to me to do away with the estate. Well, and I told the judge, I said, I'm going to leave it going. Why? Okay. Because I knew fucks like you and other people would try to take my fucking property from me. And I'm not going to let that happen, dumbasses. I'm not going to let that happen. Even if you were allowed to put money down on my property, you couldn't lay one finger on it, because as soon as you did, the district court will be all over your ass like a chicken on a June bug.
Yeah.
My shit is tied up in fucking court, you morons. I know that's hard for you to grasp because you're fucking trolls, but try to understand. I left it that way on purpose, so that the Frost couldn't fuck me, so that Robert Stivers couldn't fuck with me, and definitely so that you trolls couldn't fuck with me. That's why I left the estate up. I could have took the estate down anytime I wanted. I'm not only the executor, I'm also the owner and administrator. I'm the chief cook and bottle washer, baby. I decide what happens with this property. Not you, not Stivers, not the Frost, not anybody. I decide what happens to this property. And there's nobody going to lay one fucking finger on it.
Damn right. Amen.
No one.
Amen.
So get it up here, trolls, and Stivers and Frost and anybody else that's trying to start shit. Because it's not going to happen. I left it in court I left it under the tutelage of the court for a reason. But But yeah, I mean, nobody can touch me, man. Nobody can touch me. Now, I admittedly at first I did kind of panic because I'm sitting there thinking, well, wait a minute, it's going to show up on that damn list, but it didn't. It did not show up on. And she tried to tell Todd that too, but he didn't fucking listen.
He didn't
It
listen.
wasn't on the list.
It wasn't on
If
the list.
it's not on the list, ain't nobody gonna be able to touch it. Even if you could get it, if it's not on that fucking list for sale, you're not touching it. Do I look worried? Do I look like I'm sweating? Do I look like I'm pissed? Do I look like I'm upset? No. You know why? Because you can't touch it. They think they know more than somebody who actually went to school for real estate law. You keep forgetting, trolls. I took real estate law in school. 2 years of it. All right, not 2 days, 2 years of real estate law. I got 2 years of business administration, 2 years of real estate law. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And when I say you can't touch that fucking shit, that's exactly what I mean. And when I say I talk to the clerk's office, that's exactly what I mean. So Toad got totally owned in his own goddamn video. But see, he has selective hearing. He only wanted to hear what he wanted to hear. And that's why he said, oh, yeah, well, Vaughn lied. No, Vaughn did not lie. Because when you get an extension, it gives you a payment plan. That's exactly what an extension fucking does, you moron Toad. It's exactly what it does. It gives you an extension. It gives you a payment plan. And she tried to explain it to you, but you wasn't having none of it. You wasn't having none of it, Toad, was you? Because you were so eager to try to prove me wrong that you wouldn't listen to what the woman was telling you. But that's okay, because I win anyway. Because ain't nobody touching my shit. The lady I talked to said there was one company that might be able to put a bid on the property. But once they realize that it's locked in the fucking district court, they ain't going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. They're not going to touch it. It's locked in court. An estate is a legal entity. It is a person. I, James Paul Von Helton, am not a person. I exist, but I'm not a person per se. I am an entity, but I'm an entity that under the Act of 1871 they can do with as they please. However, an estate is a person because it's run through the court system. It's run through financial systems. And so an estate is a legal entity. It is a real person in the eyes of corporatism. Okay. And as such, that person has rights. And one of those rights is that you can't fuck with it unless you jump through all kinds of hoops. And so that legal estate is an entity. It is a person. It gives me a platform to put forward my agenda on what I want done. Now, you trolls are thinking, well, I'll run out and get me an LLC. No, you won't, because there's a lot of shit you got to go through. And, plus you got to be registered with your state or your country. You have to have all kinds of legal shit done. So no, you're not going to run out and create an estate overnight, an LLC or whatever. You're not going to do that. It's not going to happen overnight. Now, the reason I was able to do it so easily is because I was left an inheritance, that included an estate. But if you just got a plain will, and in that plain will, it says you're left a house and a dog and a cat, that's it. You get the house, the dog, and the cat. But if you're left a will that establishes an estate that has all kinds of protections and locks and stuff attached to it, then that's a whole different ballgame. And that is a legal entity. It is a real person, according to finance. And Clay County by now has to be wise to you fucking trolls calling down there, starting a bunch of shit. They have to be. And the reason I know that is because I told that teller behind that glass, I said, hey, there's going to be people that do not like me. They're going to call down here and try to start some shit. And I know she wrote it down. I know she wrote it down because I watched her. Okay, so they are aware of you, trolls. And so you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. Sorry. And it's time. The pendulum is swinging back my way, trolls. Get a clue. And me and John have told you the pendulum's swinging back our way. We've told you that over and over again, so you got no excuse. The pendulum is swinging back our way. It's our turn now. You all had your fun. You killed my mother and father, drove my wife insane, got my kids taken away, got my inheritance stolen. Okay, so now it's time for the pendulum to swing back my motherfucking way. I get to have fun now, and you all get to go to prison and get all your shit taken and all that stuff. It's time for the pendulum to swing back the other way now. You had a lot of fun at my expense. Now it's my turn. Now it's my turn, and I intend to utilize that to the fullest extent possible.